An Entrepreneur Guide. Chapter 1. Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship 1. Going into business for yourself is a little like knowing you want to be a ballerina. You get the tutu, the shoes, the tape of Mozart, all the right stuff. But that's not what makes a ballerina. What makes a dancer is getting out on the floor and dancing. Jordana Simpson. Entrepreneurs run the world, there's no doubt about that. The linchpin of any society is all the small business that provide the goods and services for everything. They literally support everything that gets done, from the doctor working in the hospital to the inventor tinkering in a back room somewhere to an artist painting his pictures. It's in the blood, the challenge to run with a dream, the nervousness, risk, uncertainty, and love of it all. True entrepreneurs in the spiritual aesthetic sense of it don't really care about the money all that much. Sure, they want to make a lot to live in a big house, drive a big car and support their families, and money is a scorecard of success if you buy into the likes of Forbes magazine, but these guys who really thrive on it see business as the pursuit that keeps them inspired and vital about life. A serious athlete is focused on training. He eats, sleeps, and breathes it and loves his life. A true entrepreneur is exactly the same, except the object d'etre is his or her business. It's an end in itself. The thrill is the chase, the challenge, the desire to create a great piece of worthy artwork, the artwork in this case being the business. These guys and gals who thrive on business are no different than the artist obsessed with creating his or her version of beauty, truth, and perfection by expressing their natural, primal, creative energy inside. It all comes down to purging out this natural energy inside to feel good about life. A lot of these guys are so wealthy that they could quit and pursue any hedonistic whim they want, but they don't, because they're hooked on releasing their inspired, creative energy, like an inventor is hooked on inventing, like I'm hooked on my few activities that keep me inspired about my life. I don't care much about the money. For me, the game is to ride my inspiration to the hilt by releasing all my natural energy, because this is my lifeblood, this is what keeps me feeling good about my life. This is at least 75% of my life. The rest is the afterthought, the icing on the cake, a minor diversion. I know I have to ride this wave of inspiration all the time, because it's the only thing that really makes me feel hot, intense, inspired and transcendent. Most entrepreneurs run small businesses and they're happy that way, enough to earn a living and keep themselves busy without too much stress. The most successful entrepreneurs use whatever technology is available to maximize their business potential. Good, lean management is the key to running a successful business, which essentially means you have to be a jack of all trades, wear all hats, enjoy the process and actually thrive on it. You don't need a huge advertising budget, but you have to somehow constantly get the word out to existing and new customers any way you can think of. Offer free stuff, be unusual in some way. Offer great service. Advertise. Publicize. Cash flow is virtually always tight in small businesses because of the credit you give your good customers. Poor cash flow could sink the business if you don't pay a particular bill when it's due, so be on it all the time. Good business owners are not dictators or loners who take it all on their shoulders because they feel they must. Good business owners share the burden with others they trust, let them prove themselves and pay them what they're worth. Let your employees do the work. Pull the best out of them. Be their cheerleader. Employees need your trust. You get that by being a straight shooter with them. Tell them the truth. Give them feedback. Be a beacon of inspirational strength. Praise and compliment good work. Discipline the laggards or get rid of them. Culture personal relationships with your workers, customers, and business associates. Never underestimate personal relationships. If people like you because you're a decent, straight, sociable person, that's good. If you come off trivial, cold, distant, or negative, work at it. Do you give off a vibe that people trust you or think you're a rat? Anybody can intimidate somebody into submission, but what about winning their hearts? If you screw your workers, they will screw you. Workplace sabotage is a major underhanded act of revenge many employees take on their bosses. Instead of being a boss, be a teacher and a coach, there to nurture their development in the company. Help them learn the ropes, inspire them. Don't play like you're a supreme testament to the competent loner boss. Show your workers you need their help, that you want them to trust you and tell you what's going on. Do this by telling them what's going on. They have to feel safe with you. If they're doing good, get out of their way. Familiarity breeds contempt. Be friendly and helpful, but don't exactly be a casual bud. Don't be too quick to judge. Give people 3 strikes. Don't be rude and insensitive. Be civil. Show customers, workers, and business associates that you want to help them, that you're interested in their best interests. If you're not, learn to be a great actor. Don't live in delusion. See yourself as others see you. You show people you value them when you recognize who they are and what they do. Don't be hot and cold, a compliment today then 2 days later, chew the guy out for what you complimented him on the other day. He thinks you're so insincere that you gave him a fake compliment and can't even remember. It makes him think you're a phony. Try not to play favorites. It kills your rapport with the unfavored. Treat everybody equally and fairly. Don't be a bullshitter. Don't beat around the bush. Be direct and to the point. Be who you are. Don't fake it. If you're a greenhorn and don't know something, don't pretend you do. Admit it, show you're willing to learn. That's the true test, your attitude and motivation to learn. Instead of competing, try to cooperate with everyone, even business rivals. Many former rivals in business have become even stronger than they are now. Great entrepreneurs constantly come up with fresh ideas and try them out. No matter how small or big you are, never lose the common touch with your customers, workers, and business associates. If you see an opportunity to expand, even if it's an unrelated venture to what you're doing now, why not? Look at Johnson & Johnson, PepsiCo, General Electric, Disney, and any other multi-corporation. They're really a bunch of different businesses operating under one banner. Corporate socialism is good, to take what you've reaped and pass it on back to the workers, customers, and society at large. Even if you're a big company, operate like a small company. Break it down into little self-contained sections. Treat small things as though they were important. Keep the soul of the business intact. Don't have a bunch of parts all running around on their own. Have them all united for the common cause. Minimize red tape. Don't develop a corporate image as a tightwad, a meanie, or both. Constantly have new targets. The revolution never ends. Speed without sacrificing quality is of the essence. Get the product to market quickly and respond to customers quickly in every capacity. Don't make promises you can't keep. If something doesn't work, so what? Everybody fails before they get it right. At least, they're in the arena. Dust yourself off and keep moving. Don't feel like you've lost face. You did your best, that's enough for any situation. Entrepreneurs say their biggest problems in order are: healthcare costs for employees, government regulations, finding, keeping, and treating employees well, getting financing/line of credit, fear of lawsuits. Entrepreneurship 2. One needs something to believe in, something for which one can have wholehearted enthusiasm. One needs to feel that one's life has meaning, that one is needed in this world. Hannah Sench. Let each of you discover where your chance for greatness lies. Seize that chance and let no power on earth deter you. From the movie, Chariots of Fire. What is it that will keep you inspired about your life and make you your money at the same time? Regardless of what you're doing in life, unless you're a totally solitary visionary artist, a misogynist, anarchist, or a hermit, you need people to help you get to wherever you want, so be likable. The selfishness of capitalism is a good system. Because of my selfish desire to get what I want out of life for myself, I work my butt off to give people what they want to fulfill their selfish needs, so then they can give me money so that I can fulfill my selfish needs. They say most people get rich by starting their own companies, selling something, or doing something original somehow. About 90% of all rich people got there by doing their own thing, either the business of selling, inventing a great product, or creating something new and fantastic like a great song, a great book, etc. About 5% inherit their wealth and 5% get rich working for someone else, usually sharing the fruits of a prosperous, emerging company. The spirit of entrepreneurship is alive and well on planet Earth. Anybody can do it, it's the untapped frontier for now and evermore, people trying to do their own thing to make money somehow and change the world with their guts, determination, and creativity. This is the spirit of entrepreneurship. Many will fail in their quests, but at least they tried. Many who fail at first will keep going to taste success later. Many will taste great success and change in the world, but the credit goes to all of them because they had the guts to go into the arena and give it their best shot, not just to stick with an ordinary job as defined by the system. Business process: create a product, sell it, and start a business crash course. The business process simplified is as follows. You get your idea. Hopefully it's big. You might do a preliminary patent search through a hired professional to see if such a patent exists. You make a business plan as to how much it will cost to develop the product and what the market will be like. You create a prototype on paper. Get knowledge from industry professionals, the U.S. Small Business Administration, inventors clubs, etc. You start the patent process. Create a prototype both for the patent application, show photographs, and for potential investors. You get a few prototypes made, go around to manufacturers and companies trying to make deals and selling it. You have to be inventive in order to sell it. Try to find investors and/or buyers for your product. You should check with laws concerning safety and sales restrictions. Market and sell it. Unless your product has market appeal, don't waste time and money getting a patent on it. If your product is that good and unique, don't get a patent on it because after 20 years, it'll become public domain. Keep it a trade secret like Coca-Cola did with their formula. Check out your competition. Look over their website. See what you can do better. If you're confident and have patent protection, offer to sell it to them for cash up front and a royalty. If you don't patent your product, ask the people in the industry who you show it to sign a non-disclosure and/or a non-compete form. That's your proof if they manufacture it themselves without a deal from you. You sue them in civil court. Name your product with a cool, simple, catchy name. Get a website with the name. If your business takes off, trademark the name of the product or service, which means no one else can use the name. Check online if websites are using the name. Visit usbeta.gov and search trademarks to see if it has been registered. You can get a provisional patent for about $110, which gives you a year to try to raise money to file a real patent application. Hire an intellectual property attorney if you suspect someone is selling an exact replica of your product. Are people interested in product X? An easy way to check is to find a website or two that covers what your product is about, then check to see if it has a visitor or tracking counter that shows how many people visit the site per month. Another way is to go to your favorite search engine, type it in and see how many responses it pulls up. Figure the cost per unit of product, then what you will sell it for. A good margin is 4, which means for every dollar of cost, you sell it for 4. Find a manufacturer. Will you be patriotic and find one in your home country or outsource to China? Both have advantages and disadvantages. Either way, you will be expected to pay for at least half up front. The manufacturer might have a graphic artist on staff to create the packaging. If not, use GIMP.org or some other Photoshop program to create it yourself. Write out the instructions and guarantee yourself on any Word program. Try to pre-sell your product, then create it after you have X number of orders at a profitable price. To pre-sell, your buyer has to be told that he'll have to wait 6 weeks. You could get a letter of intent where he says, "I'll buy 100 widgets when they're delivered to me." Set up a merchant account through paypal.com or payloadz.com. Get permits and licenses to be legal. You may want to create a sole proprietorship, an LLC, a corporation, a C Corp, or an S Corp. Learn the tax laws to see which will work best for you. Check into product liability insurance. Check into patent protection or intellectual property protection insurance. Create non-disclosure forms to get potential investors to sign before you show them the product. Create a sales form to give the buyer your terms and conditions, including minimum order size. You could create a company logo. Get publicity as discussed in my other books. Possibly find others to sell your product for you like Walmart, Target, drugstore chains, etc. Present your product at trade shows. Get a toll-free number so people can call to talk live. You can get a distributor or license your products so you do not have to sell. Get a shipping account with the post office, UPS, or FedEx. Find a fulfillment company and call center to take orders for you. A potential investor wants to see that they can make money with your product. After that, they want to see if they can work with you, that is, if you're a reasonable person or a nutcase. Keep adding product to your inventory. Have the story ready about your product when someone asks about it. Have a script in your mind like a TV commercial. Sell the idea of a better life, of how your product improves lives. List the specific benefits for your product. Make a list of all the negative things people might ask about your products and be ready with an answer. Imagine you're at a live event talking about your product and some guy says big deal. Have an answer ready. When you're selling something, speak using simple words that describe it. Present yourself as honest and modest. How big is the industry? Personalize your sales pitch by saying I had problem X. I solved it by creating this product. Tell potential customers how product X saves them time, money, gets their house cleaner, makes them better, stronger, more beautiful, etc. Make your publicity headlines and product names snappy. Describe your product in 20 words in your ads or publicity material. People want to see how the product works before they buy. As a salesperson, be respectful, don't be defensive, and if you screw up, just tell the truth. There's something wrong. You gotta fix it. The business is a gestalt. A body is not a single organ, but many. Suppose that the foot should say, because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body, it does belong to the body nonetheless. Suppose that the ear were to say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, it does still belong to the body. If the body were all eye, how could it hear? If the body were all ear, how could it smell? There are many different organs but one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I do not need you. 1 Corinthians 12:14-21. Working together brings better results than everybody trying to shine as individuals and individual departments. Western management theory is often focused on segmenting the company into distinct departments and having neat little objectives and monthly numbers telling you how much product you're sold or how much higher or lower your profit is compared to last month. The Japanese business model operates closer to chi, the life force, which is the foundation of the field of alternative medicine. Whereas we, in the West, have subdivided the medical field down into specific body parts and specific procedures, the Eastern view is to look at the body as a whole, and when something goes wrong, don't see it as a problem in one area but see it as disharmony within the entire body that has to be brought back into balance. Take this line of thinking into the realm of business. It's all right to divide the company in units/departments, but when you think about it to improve the method, plan things, or correct mistakes, think of it as a whole, a unit. What matters is the way the unit operates day by day. Things like the monthly production statement are irrelevant. It's just a number. You don't know if it was fudged or how much quality suffered in order to reach this number in an effort to try to outdo last month's number. The only thing that matters is the systematic method you set up for the unit, the company as a whole, to operate day by day. This is your art form, how to develop the best, most productive way for the company as a unit to operate day by day. The method is everything. Focus on perfecting it that rather than monthly results. Treat your workers this way too, as part of a big systematic unit where they play an important part so they can see the big picture and know where they fit into the grand scheme of things, and also know that if they screw up, the entire system breaks down. Everybody and everything must be made to work together cooperatively with teamwork and be conscious of each other's function in the system. It's an interdependence thing. Don't set goals. Goals are specific objectives. Life doesn't work that way. Instead, try to develop as best a system as you can for the workplace operation day by day. The method of operation is important, not the goal. People lie, cheat, and steal to reach their transitory goals, but what really matters is the sound substance of the day-to-day operation of the system. As an extension of this philosophy, don't think maximum profit, think maximum service to the world. If you live like this, the profit will come. Knowledge is what gives the system strength. All parts must be given knowledge of the whole and asked to contribute ideas to make the whole better. Appreciating your workers is fine by giving them compliments, bonuses, promotions, etc., but your overall goal is to recognize that each is an individual and use your intuitive understanding of people to instill a sense of intrinsic motivation into each of them where they love their jobs and love being part of that particular company system. A good leader is a guy who strives to set up a good system for the day-by-day operation of his company where people share their talents and everybody feels part of a team. Instead of competition between individuals in the same company all striving for the same promotions and competition between the different departments, eliminate the individual or departmental ratings evaluations and focus instead on the team approach. The Japanese have largely eliminated the concept of the lone individual competing with others for promotions. Everybody works as a team. When a promotion is open, the higher ups intuitively pick who is the best for the job, and that means who's the best team worker, not who's the biggest egomaniac slashing everybody's throat to claw his way to the top by trying to look good no matter how many people he steps over in the process. The bottom line consensus is that when you have a company based on inner competition and the merit system with everybody looking out for number one trying to get to the top as individuals, the system suffers. If everybody works as a team for the common good of the company improves more than if it was just a bunch of individuals with their own agendas and everybody wins. This is the fundamental difference between the traditional American and Japanese models of business. When there is a problem or defect, don't just fix it. Develop a procedure to eliminate this problem from happening in the future. Joint responsibility means that everybody is made to feel that they're all responsible for the entire production process, not just one part of it, such that when one department falls behind, the other departments get behind them and try to help them instead of just bad-mouthing them then sitting back thinking they're superior. Don't just buy the cheapest products for your production process. Buy the best products for the job. Quality is everyone's business, from the lowliest worker to top management. Quotas/numerical goals are bad. They just compromise quality. Cutting costs too much will compromise quality. Learn from your competition. First of all, go through your local yellow pages to find your competition. Look over their ads and check out their websites if it's in the ad. Learn from your competition to get a competitive advantage. Right now, at this moment, open your browser, go to bing.com, and type in the keywords you would use to find the service or product that you sell. These websites are your competition. Study them. Learn from them. Copy them. After you learn from all of them and apply it, figure something out that makes you different from all of them. Find out what's going on in the marketplace and then add to it. Find out about their hours of operation, what they specialize in and how many stores they have. Use their standards and methods to help create your own business methods in a way that will be better than them. Your biggest competition is the businesses that do the same things you do. If you sell a product, the big department stores or supermarkets also sell it, so you have to offer an incentive over them. A big business survey was done where they asked people what made them stay as customers or leave a business. 70% said the number one factor was the service and support they got for the product. That's the way to keep customers. Provide excellent service. A competitive advantage is something that your business does that gives it some advantage over the competition. It could be a better product, cheaper price, free delivery, drive-through service, longer hours, quick service, friendliness, etc. Tell people what you do better than anyone else. Do as many things better than your competition as possible. Offer a better warranty than your competition. Create a simple catchy phrase for your biggest competitive advantage over your competition and advertise it as much as you can. What is your competitor's specialty? Better it. Try to get a more central, accessible location than your competition. Free promotional products like keychains, pens, notepads, calendars, coffee mugs and mouse pads with your logo on them are a competitive advantage over your competition. Computer simulation in business. If you're planning to build a new building, create a new product or do a new project, you can hire computer simulators to do it on a computer first, both to see it and to possibly use in your presentation to get it financed. Averill-law.com, Seminars on Computer Simulation. I-simulation.com. newyorkls.edu/pdfs/macedonia.pdf. simulation-i-simulation.com. Chapter 2. Business Smarts. Business Smarts. Have an inspiring vision. We always need new businesses because we have the power to create new ways to help people. People always need help. Read today's newspaper. You'll find needs everywhere. Help customers by providing a necessary and useful product or service at a price they are willing to pay. Have information and knowledge readily available for all. Have a website where you offer knowledge and information to both customers and employees. Above all else, demand trust and loyalty. Go with the flow. If you see the writing on the wall, don't live in denial. Go with it. Quality is great, but you still have to make a profit. Some say higher quality means less overall costs because there are less hassles. In any event, simplify. Get customer feedback on the quality of your products. Seek out new markets. What makes you unique in the marketplace? Make manufacturing a never-ending art form. Ask your workers for ideas on how to improve the process. Read magazines related to your field. Look for new ideas, then use them. Watch your customers and society in general. If tastes change, cater to those changes. Competition is good. It keeps you on your toes. By the same token, if you get a good opportunity to partner with the competition, go for it. Become attached to your customers. If something works, create another version of it. Create an entire line, each one a little different if the market will bear it. Specialize in a few areas you do well. Listen when people talk to you. Look for good employees. Provide education for your employees. Offer incentives and bonuses for great work, i.e., profit sharing. Make the managers coaches and teachers, not isolated, elitist meanies with a big stick. Don't demean or humiliate employees nor tolerate bullying among workers. Eliminate special privileges for managers like special parking spaces, special entrance, special lunchroom, etc. Give workers employment security. Keep the company as simple as possible. Minimize bureaucracy. Try to make communication more face-to-face. Study the future. Go with what's emerging. Adjust. Make the workplace interesting and fun. Don't preach. Lead by example. Keep it real. The less distance there is between the boss and his workers and the customers, the better of a boss he will be. Listen to everybody, then use their good ideas. Look for inspired people to run your company, not bureaucrats. Create an atmosphere of the company as a work in progress. Constantly evaluate and adjust. Grow conservatively without overextending yourself. By the same token, if an opportunity presents itself, take the calculated risk. Avoid uncomfortable scenarios. For example, don't have the bathroom where people in the workplace can see who enters. Have it off in private somewhere. Little things like that matter. Put the communal phone in a private room. Empower your workers. Provide top quality products and superior services. Be a global marketer. Be a team player. If you see a good idea somewhere, borrow it. Study your competitors. Creative theft of the good ideas of others are everywhere. Just be careful you don't violate someone's patent or copyright. Can your company be so good that people tell their friends about you? Support your mavericks, geniuses, hard workers, and leaders. Don't be dinosaur. Always think innovation. Don't encourage so much haste that quality suffers. If people screw up, go easy for at least 3 strikes. Take a risk on new good ideas. Create a progressive corporate culture where you're open to new ideas. Involve the workers in the entire corporation but give the departments enough freedom and independence to work on their own. Recognize good work. Give it a chance to shine. Be unique. Listen to what customers, workers, and business associates tell you. Treat your sales force well. They're your front line. Use the latest technology. Contrarian business. Contrarian business, just like contrarian investing, means go against the crowd. If everybody is acting like conformist, one-dimensional clones, act like the freewheeling hippie of business. If everyone's bullish on high-tech, step back, go to basics. Rules are made to be broken. All the business education, conventional business wisdom, the rules of business, all the business books at number 650 number 659 at the library may have some good stuff in them, but it can't hold a candle to your own business intuition and common sense about life, so don't listen to all the rules out there while disregarding what you feel inside. A good contrarian simply does what he believes in regardless of how much it goes against the conventional wisdom of business. The contrarian view of business success suggests that instead of being too eager to sell and acting like you've got an unlimited supply of product or time for your service, make it seem like you're booked up all the time, that you only serve exclusive clients and they have to pass some test in order for them to have the honor to pay you for their services. This works for some people but not all. If you can generate enough aura about yourself that you're selling something special, people will buy it at outrageous prices. I see this a lot in infomercials, people selling hyped up information that you can find easily in any library, real estate, make money in stocks, number 332 at the library, self-help, set goals, lose weight, hundreds of books at number 611 to number 613 of any library, tiny little ads which is mail order, memory enhancement, how to study better, etc. The line of reasoning is that customers feel special and privileged in dealing with you, so they will pay the higher premiums in order to get that feeling of exclusivity. From another perspective, contrarian business is to be less formal and less technically advanced. There's too much technobabble and formality out there. People should be more real, informal, and cooperative with each other and rely on their intuition more, what they feel in their gut. Instead of mass marketing, focus on niche markets and the consumer. Help people rather than just try to suck the money out of them. Don't be afraid to go against tradition and do crazy things. Don't follow the herd. Answers.com/topic/contrarian. Articles.moneycentral.msn.com/investing/contrarian chronicles. blogbusinessworld.blogspot.com/2006/contrarian-thinking-don't-follow-herd.html. contrarian.behavioralfinance.net. contrarianconsulting.com. contrarian-update.com. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/contrarian. School of Hard Knocks. Fasten your seatbelt because this is gonna be a bumpy ride. Unnamed business owner. At that point the epiphany came to me that everyone's life is a Greek tragedy. It's stupid to feel sorry for yourself. And it's arrogant and presumptuous to do so. There is nobody in our world who is not going to go through a tragedy, even if they have an employee base of themselves. Any business person who's been around for more than a few years has had setbacks, some of which are their own fault, some of which have nothing to do with them. They were on the wrong side of the street and got hit by a bus. Michael Saylor, Internet CEO, as quoted in The Dinner Club by Shannon Henry, 2002. I'm a true believer in the hardship theory of life, the school of hard knocks. I respect people who've had tough times, who've walked the lonely streets of dreams, who haven't had anything handed to them on a platter. If it comes too easily, you will never appreciate it nor respect yourself fully. Be thankful for what you got and work hard to make it better. The school of hard knocks is the greatest teacher you will ever have in life. Most business owners I know never went to school to learn business. They started small doing something they wanted to do and worked their way up. Culture and attitude where nothing bothers you much. Secondly, be thankful for your life, and thirdly, deal with adversity when it hits. Chapter 3. Business Savvy. Business Power and Persuasion. Make insincerity an art form. I've come across a number of articles and books about the fine art of influencing others through subtle techniques like dressing for success, giving compliments, acting like you care, acting like a VIP even if you aren't, where to be seen, who to be seen with, etc. To me, as a basic man who deals with only the hardcore substance of any issue and the person standing in front of me without any pretenses, I generally don't buy into all this role-playing, game-playing, phony Machiavellian type of political gesturing, but a lot of people do, and it's the way of the world, so here goes. To me, true business power is communication, cooperation, and teamwork, an individual using his or her power and strength to work with people, unite them and use the best of what he has to make things happen with his team. Business power is the ability to harness the power of the group to get what you want done. You can be straight, intuitive, and honest about it, or use subtle charms and manipulation to get others to do your bidding. The best leaders are people happy with themselves who feel naturally inspired to do what they're doing in the business realm. It's creating a space where people can reach the highest limits of their potential by working for the good of the company. It's sharing your power with others. This is the straightest, simplest way to be without pretense, the ideal leader who acts out of a sense of duty, inspiration, and instinct to help others achieve their highest potential as individuals and as a team. But the real world is not so clear and simple. There are many roundabout ways to achieve success through politics and persuasion. First impressions are lasting impressions. It's never about the facts, it's about your ability to make your phony smile look real, to be able to lie quickly, to deny, and to compliment people with a straight face even though everyone knows you're as phony as a $3 bill. People are suckers for flattery, even fake flattery, which most of it is, fake compliments given for an ulterior motive. The name of the business game is your ability to appease people, give them what they want so they give you what you want. Scratch their backs so they scratch yours. Practice making your phony smile look real, but you must have a semblance of credibility and trust about yourself. Don't act like a buffoon ever. You have to act like a cool, calm, elegant phony. Your phony charm and ambition must be subtle in order to be successful. You can't come off like a loud, overbearing used car salesman. You have to be more like a textbook case of civility, even if you're a redneck hillbilly from Arkansas and people can see through it. It really works if you stay in character all the time and never even get a little tipsy in public. Every time you go out in public, take that mask that you keep in the jar by the door, put it on and act like a dignified, happy, helping, healthy individual. You can do anything immoral and primal you want as long as it's behind closed doors and you don't get caught. That was Slick Willie's downfall. He got caught but he didn't break. He stayed in character as a noble, presidential type when everybody was laughing at some chubby girl giving him a BJ in a most inappropriate place with bodyguards around. This is you. Stay in character and deny. Or take a tip from that other master of manipulation, the stiff slickster on the West Coast, acting like a cool dude with his catchphrases of "I will be back" and "Hasta la vista." Watch him. That's a good performer with a public image that is not consistent with the person he really is in his private thoughts. How do I know? Because nobody can be that one-dimensional, corny, patriotic, and egotistical in real life and still be successful. He's a showman. He manipulates people to get what he wants. Nobody that simple acting and caricature-like is really like that unless they're stupid. Anybody that knows anything knows there's no difference between Republicans and Democrats, yet to proclaim oneself a Republican is to put forth an image of traditional, conservative, flag-waving, American dream values. It works for the patriotic, religious clones in the system. Democrats are associated with hippie, drug-smoking, minority, liberal types, not who the power brokers of the world ally themselves with, even though intelligent people know they're both the same, in bondage to the corporate interests and public opinion polls of the pragmatic issues of the day. Too much flattery is way too obvious. Remember, people in power positions didn't get there by being stupid, so if you try to fool them with your phony airs, they will just laugh cynically and know you're willing to sell your soul or what's left of it and either use you when the time is right, or they might be offended and write you off as an insincere brown-noser with no substance or backbone. Better to play loyal and corny rather than loud and over the top. Treat everyone with respect and dignity. You never know when you will need an ally. Be an ally. If one technique doesn't work, adjust to meet the needs of your quarry. Be an expert, or at least act like one, and back it up with real knowledge mixed in with verbal diarrhea if pressed on it. Be clean, fit and well-groomed. Don't fidget. Noble people sit or stand straight and strong. Be calm. Look people in the eye with a half smile, but not a goofy smile, nor for longer than a few seconds because it's too intimidating. Remember, your job is not to overpower people because then they hate you. Your job is to be friendly, gain their trust, do them a few favors, then they owe you if you need them, plus the fact that friends don't want to disappoint friends. Hang out where the powerful are, the right restaurants, golf courses, bars, etc. Be a people person, or at least act like one. Be nice and pleasant. Never antagonize just to give your ego a lift. Be positive. Stand tall, but not to the point where you look like you're strutting. Find that fine line between arrogance and nobility. Don't be shifty. Keep a straightforward gaze. Sit up straight. The greater your command of your tongue, the more eloquent, superior, and strong you seem, but again, don't come off too strong, arrogant like a know-it-all. Be consistent with any particular individual. Don't be all over the place. Don't treat him great today, chew him out or act distant tomorrow, etc. Always wear your steady, boring, loyal, quiet, dignified mask of solid traditional values. Listen to people when they talk. Mirror back what they tell you. Be clear, dutiful, and loyal. Read the Bible and watch religious TV to culture your pragmatic sense of piety. Ingratiate yourself with anyone you think might be able to help you. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Act like the person you're with. If he's religious, say praise God. If he's a redneck, act like an educated hillbilly. If he laughs, laugh with him, etc. Don't waste time with the intellectuals, outsiders, or the losers. You're there to acquire power and prestige, so hang out with people in power. Hanging out with the outsiders might even hurt you because a man is known by the company he keeps. You have to be at the right place at the right time to help a big shot or be his sounding board when he needs it, then be dutiful and loyal. Look like a game-faced, gaunt, tanned, hard-worked man. There are facial tanners on the market. Act like you're playing by the rules and believe in them. Act sincere. Always praise the status quo. Keep repeating what you want out of the deal during negotiations. If asked an opinion about somebody, say they're good people who always treated you well and you accept people at face value how they present themselves to you. Appeal to people's needs and desires. Try not to offend anyone. Don't act individual. Act like part of the team. Don't take risks. Be a conformist, a yes man. Give them what they want. It doesn't matter how much of a genius you are. If they think they can't control you, you will never get anywhere. They will keep you around to suck your genius out of you but never give you any power. They can't trust you and they feel intimidated by you. Don't be too greedy or too cutthroat. Be cutthroat enough such that other cutthroats still feel they can trust you, but if you're making loyalties with everyone behind everyone's back, they will find out and get rid of you. Lie, lie, lie if it makes a better story for your benefit. Deny, deny, deny if you're caught doing something. Develop your verbal skills. Talk high class. Don't be a glutton or drunk around your superiors. Act patriotic and religious. Always for God and country. Buy gifts for your boss's kids on their birthdays. Don't destroy people's illusions. Help perpetuate them. Always act calm when under scrutiny. Never blame others for your failures. Blame intangibles like the weather, the stock market, the ozone layer, Osama bin Laden, Russia, etc. A secular man of the world acts like he's been there, done that for everything worth doing on the planet, but he's still there playing the game, slightly amused, enjoying himself. Surround yourself with inferior people so you can shine above them. Use superior people to do your dirty work, then take the credit. When the political ship is sinking, switch sides. Say you can no longer, in good faith, support the group that has changed so much since you joined them to become something you can't believe in. Be a name dropper like all the other phonies. Fame is meaningless. Go for the money instead. Be famous with the few high rollers who control the world. Practice no facial emotion or just a faint smile. This is how you should appear in public, serious but slightly amused by life. Act serious in your desire to prove your integrity to people. Practice culturing a voice that sounds smooth and sincere rather than chalky and arrogant. Don't talk too fast or too slow. Even if you're nervous, try to act calm on the outside. A bit of emotion is good. Melodrama, over-emotion, looks phony and is the crutch of the weak. Read Machiavelli's classic treatise on political manipulation called The Prince. Read an etiquette book at number 395 at the library and learn from it. Books about the psychology of persuasion are at number 302.34, number 303.342 or KF8915 and HM133 at the library. General psychology books are at number 155 to number 157. HigherPowerCommunication.com. Business politics. In business, politics, and in life, it always comes down to relationships among people. People do business with who they like. When their backs are against the wall, business makes strange bedfellows. It is not inconceivable that you will unite with an enemy at some point in time to defeat a mutual enemy. When money and power enter into it, anything goes. Some people will do anything for money and or power. I went around looking for a modern-day version of the cutthroat world of business and politics as with Machiavelli's The Prince and Lao Tzu's The Art of War, but I couldn't really find much. It seems like people don't want to write about the ugly side of business. If you type business politics into search engines, all you get back is news websites dealing with business and politics. In order to get what you want, give people what they want. Be more charismatic than bureaucratic. You are what you think and do. Focus on what you do, not what you own. Start early in life with your ambitions. Stick to them. Don't be ashamed of aggressive ambitions. Be enthusiastic. Be a motivator. Don't isolate yourself from the crew. Be reliable. Be a team player. Be flexible, versatile. Don't take a job unless you love the work and think the company is all right. When you're paid to play, you get your best results. Consider being an independent contractor to work for yourself for a while. Get enough sleep. Don't have bad habits that interfere with work. Take care of your body. If you can't stand certain people, be nice. If you can't, be silent, non-threatening. Avoidance of the individual is your best policy. Don't fake liking someone if you can't stand them. Draw an invisible line and stay on your side of it. If other people at work are having conflicts and problems with each other, keep your nose out of it. Don't gossip. Don't be negative. Don't criticize. Share your knowledge with others. Clean up after yourself. Don't borrow things without permission. Don't ask others to do something contrary to company rules. Don't take credit for someone else's work. Don't be condescending. Don't preach about anything. Don't have irritating habits like talk too loud on the phone. Don't talk about your personal life too much. Make the boss look good. Try to befriend him or her. Be straight. Don't play games. Don't procrastinate. Get the job done. If the boss is putting you down unfairly, you have to decide whether to take it or show some backbone and stand up for yourself. Don't be a troublemaker. Don't take things personally. Keep moving. Compromise is the art of getting along with people. Be aware of the politics of the office. Don't interrupt people. Think success, not failure. Learn from setbacks. Know how your workplace operates. Who's who thinks they're what, who your allies are. Create your own breaks. Be responsible for what you do. Be an expert in your field. Have a firm handshake. Don't keep people waiting. Be sociable. Work to make your weaknesses your strengths. See things from the point of view of others. Don't complain. Learn from others. Network to culture allies everywhere. Toot your own horn but don't be arrogant. Loyalty is still the major factor of success. Fit into corporate culture. Be one of the boys. Be good at what you do. Have a sunny disposition and a positive attitude. Don't ask others how much money they make. Don't ask for a raise until you know you're worth it. Be friendly to your workers. Don't hog the limelight. When you screw up, own up to it. Ask for help if you need it. Take college courses to upgrade your skills. Practice your public speaking. Don't listen to the downers. Be a good communicator. Make definite decisions then stick by them. Don't be too much of a controller. Don't be a leaner. Pull your load. Have a good work ethic. Treat your customers like gold. Be dependable. Stick by your commitments. Respect yourself. Respect others. Be honest or at least act like you are. Don't come to work late, don't leave early every day. Be a friend on the job. Don't pilfer or steal. Don't gossip, talk too much. Be a good conversationalist. Be up on the latest information technology and on the knowledge in your field. When people offer advice, listen to it. Don't associate yourself with the dregs of the office. You're known by the company you keep. Don't mix pleasure with business. Don't get drunk at the company party. Strive to understand the new directions the economy is going towards information and services rather than goods which are largely manufactured by other nations. Think globally, the global market. Try to be one of the insiders so you know what's going on and use it to your advantage. Treat all superiors with respect. Act like they're your mentors, like you're learning from them. Appear in control. Pay attention to detail. Be politically correct. Be a chameleon, what any good superior wants you to be. Appeal to people's vanity. Have the proper tone of subservience to those in power. Laugh at your boss's jokes but not like a hyena, like a dignified phony. People are offended by exaggerated loud laughter. Be pragmatic and conservative while pretending to love all minority groups. Appear polite and humble yet dignified. Join the right clubs. The more open your stance to the point of sexually provocative, the more confrontational you will appear. Even though your ego is huge, act humble, like good old rich boy. Don't betray tension. Be calm. If you do sex, drugs, and crime, be discreet, don't get caught. Support the government. Agree with everything they do in the headlines. Act busy, important, and in demand. Act like you enjoy your life even if it's boring or you just got caught with a young internist in a compromising position. Don't kick your enemy when he's down. Help him, he might return the favor someday when you need him. Don't look too good or talk too wise. Don't be too curious about other people's lives. It makes you look nosy. Focus on the job, not personal lives. Some people like to talk about their lives. From my experience, most real men have no need to spill out their life stories to anyone. The more predictable and consistent you are, the more people like you. Go out of your way to acquire titles, awards, honorary degrees, etc. Remember names. Rubber stamp everything your superiors want. Accept invitations to all high society functions. Help perpetuate the illusion that people have about themselves as to how special they are. Read the paper to see who has won an award or got a new appointment. Send them a congratulatory card even if you don't know them. People grow to trust you by you appearing friendly, safe, and non-controversial to them over repeated interactions. What you say first will be remembered most. What you say last will be remembered the second most. Everything else is selective memory. Build rapport with people. Try number 650.14 or HF5381 to HF5385 at the library for books about business politics. A climate of business progress. We must be the progress we seek in the world. Don't fear risk. Courage takes guts but is contagious. Don't be afraid to make a bold move. Be a leader who leads from the heart. As a leader committed to a change, you have to be deeply committed to it and bring other people into your vision and enthusiasm. The only way you can do this is if you truly believe in what you do and live it out as your life force. True leadership comes from a sense of inspiration within oneself and the ability to pass this on to others such that they want to become part of it in order to benefit monetarily for themselves while doing something good to great for the world. In business, you simply take this sense of inspiration from within yourself and pass it on to others. Some people have the charisma to do this naturally, but it takes a learning curve. You learn how to inspire other people, but you're cool enough not to come on too strong. You invite them into your vision and they are so strongly inspired that they come on of their own free will. You're a strong, inspired person wise enough to be responsible for your own life, pursuing a goal worthy of yourself. You strive to build bridges to others by inviting them to share in your vision to do something good to great while turning a profit. You follow your own inner voice. You are a great thinker, a doer, curious about everything within your company, curious about yourself as an individual. You have a down-to-earth vision for your life. You have the boldness to go forward to try new things. You're generally a team player, but you have the leadership ability to be tough when you need to be. A company will change faster with an individual leader leading the charge rather than simply implementing new rules in the company bylaws. You need an individual to incorporate changes. You have to do it quickly and decisively so the employees know there is no halfway. Progressive change is to change what is that's old and create what doesn't yet exist. You have to think outside the box to achieve this, get away from established modes of thinking. Change requires a sense of urgency. You can't be lackadaisical about it. You have to be committed about it. You have to tell your people what you want to do. It is perfectly understandable to know why most people in any company or organizations develop to be conformists who go along with the status quo and don't make waves. This is the path of least resistance and the least likely way to get singled out as a troublemaker and ultimately fired. I'm not suggesting you go to the exact opposite of this approach and hire free thinking, nonconformist free spirits who never listen to anyone but themselves, but you have to get away from the clones, the mainstream people who follow everything they're fed by the mainstream society. You have to find people with enough independent backbone to be themselves the way they were born without letting their minds get taken over by Big Brother's powerful indoctrination machine. You have to find diverse thinking people with enough independence and balls to be themselves in a massive sea of conformist corporate culture, but also with the sense to not stand out just for the sake of being different, to follow most of the rules and try to be productive within company. Guidelines. The operative term is different thinking people. The more different thinking people you have in your company and the more you encourage an open expression of differing viewpoints, the more overall pool of ideas you get, and from this pool, there should be a few great ones that propel you ahead as a company. It's not hard. Instead of hiring white guys and white, middle-aged guys in general for your management positions, go elsewhere. Hire some women, some ethnic minorities, Black, Asian, Latino, and some people different from mainstream thinkers, like a religious fundamentalist, a gay man, a Jew, a Muslim, a Russian immigrant, a feminist, a country boy, a real live nerd, a left-wing activist, a free spirit, etc. Provided these people were educated with the skill you are looking for and are functional in the real world, the diversity should help your company, provided you are open enough to welcome and consider new ideas. Intelligence in a skill is one thing, everybody needs a certain element of that in order to function in a business job, but beyond that, business is all about people and ideas. You need a diversity of people who are all willing to be sociable enough to talk to each other and express their own ideas, and you have to keep your ears open to listen for the good ideas that you can use to help improve the company. Most people are afraid to speak up because they don't want to risk the disapproval of their colleagues and don't want to rock the boat, so to speak, don't want to make the others look bad by being keen/brown nosers, but this is wrong thinking. You have to look for people who are either extroverted to some extent, strong enough in their beliefs that they're willing to express them openly, or a bit of both, and encourage a verbal organization where people discuss things. When you're hiring new people for a job, instead of the generic white guy with the textbook answers, look for the women, the minorities, the oddballs who don't seem too particularly interested in presenting themselves as textbook cases of MBA graduates, but rather have some individual character. On paper, they must have the required skills and a proven ability to work with others, but beyond that, the more diversity the better. Set ambitious goals. Be bold. When you get a good idea, don't sit on it or relegate to a committee for further study. Get on it right away. Information technology is great. Study it and use it. Share knowledge among management, employees, customers, shareholders, and the public at large. Learn about world trade and global business. Change comes down to results. You have to focus on the pragmatics, results. That is always the bottom line. If you don't get results, all is in vain. The hierarchy has its place, but building relationship with all employees is much better than just bossing them around. Bureaucracy and the chain of command inhibit a straight communication of ideas clearly between management and employee. Get rid of some of this stuff. Encourage the workers to tell you their good ideas. As a manager, get over all the psychobabble you've been taught about management theory and leadership strategies to focus on the straight one-on-one relationships with whoever you're dealing with. Think of yourself as a coach and mentor. A manager solves day-to-day problems as they arise. A leader takes proactive action towards his goals. You need both in an organization, the petty bureaucrats and the visionary leaders. Have meetings where you encourage everybody to put their 2 cents worth in or present an issue or a problem and invite everybody to write an individual report on it. Encourage the art of discussion, negotiation and compromise among your employees. Be supportive and nurturing of all of your diverse individuals. Make your diverse individuals your managers. When you help everybody get ahead, little by little, day by day, the company as a whole gets ahead. Encourage the individual employees to retain their individuality while practicing teamwork. Try number 658.406-409 or HD 57-58 at the library for books about organizational change. The Art of War in Business. The book on the art of war, written by the famous Japanese general Sun Tzu over 1,000 years ago, like Machiavelli's book The Prince, contains basic information about human nature and human relations which can be useful to business. The following main points are a summary of the book. I left them in this format and didn't apply it specifically to business in order to show that business is really like war, because it's you competing with all the other businesses who do what you do to get the prize, customer share, and customer loyalty. This is your objective, and as such, it's the only objective. Morality doesn't enter into it. You're only a good guy for as long as it helps you. As soon as you have to be a son of a bitch in order to achieve your objective, you must do it unflinchingly. All warfare is based on deception. Hence, when able to attack, we must seem unable; when using our forces, we must seem inactive; when we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away; when far away, we must make him believe we are near. Hold out baits to entice the enemy. Feign disorder and crush him. If he is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. Attack him where he is unprepared, appear where you are not expected. There is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged warfare. Now, in order to kill the enemy, our men must be roused to anger, that there may be advantage from defeating the enemy, they must have their rewards. In the practical art of war, the best thing of all is to take the enemy's country whole and intact; to shatter and destroy it is not so good. So, too, it is better to recapture an army entire than to destroy it, to capture a regiment, a detachment, or a company entire than to destroy them. If equally matched, we can offer battle; if slightly inferior in numbers, we can avoid the enemy; if quite unequal in every way, we can flee from him. Thus we may know that there are 5 essentials for victory. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. He will win who knows how to handle both superior and inferior forces. He will win whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. He will win who, prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. He will win who has military capacity and is not interfered with by the sovereign. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. The good fighters of old first put themselves beyond the possibility of defeat and then waited for an opportunity of defeating the enemy. To secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands, but the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Thus the good fighter is able to secure himself against defeat, but cannot make certain of defeating the enemy. One may know how to conquer without being able to do it. Security against defeat implies defensive tactics; ability to defeat the enemy means taking the offensive. He wins his battles by making no mistakes. Making no mistakes is what establishes the certainty of victory, for it means conquering an enemy that is already defeated. Hence the skillful fighter puts himself into a position which makes defeat impossible and does not miss the moment for defeating the enemy. Thus it is that in war the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. In battle, there are not more than 2 methods of attack, the direct and the indirect, yet these 2 in combination give rise to an endless series of maneuvers. The direct and the indirect lead on to each other in turn. It is like moving in a circle, you never come to an end. Who can exhaust the possibilities of their combination? Whoever is first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight; whoever is second in the field and has to hasten to battle will arrive exhausted. The clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy but does not allow the enemy's will to be imposed on him. By holding out advantages to him, he can cause the enemy to approach of his own accord, or, by inflicting damage, he can make it impossible for the enemy to draw near. If the enemy is taking his ease, he can harass him; if well supplied with food, he can starve him out; if quietly encamped, he can force him to move. The spot where we intend to fight must not be made known, for then the enemy will have to prepare against a possible attack at several different points, and his forces being thus distributed in many directions, the numbers we shall have to face at any given point will be proportionately few. For should the enemy strengthen his vanguard, he will weaken his rear; should he strengthen his rear, he will weaken his vanguard; should he strengthen his left, he will weaken his right; should he strengthen his right, he will weaken his left. If he sends reinforcements everywhere, he will everywhere be weak. Numerical weakness comes from having to prepare against possible attacks; numerical strength, from compelling our adversary to make these preparations against us. Knowing the place and the time of the coming battle, we may concentrate from the greatest distances in order to fight. But if neither time nor place be known, then the left wing will be impotent to assist the right equally impotent to assist the left, the van unable to relieve the rear or the rear to support the van. Military tactics are like unto water, for water in its natural course runs away from high places and hastens downwards. So in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and to strike at what is weak. Water shapes its course according to the nature of the ground over which it flows. The soldier works out his victory in relation to the foe whom he is facing; therefore, just as water retains no constant shape, so in warfare there are no constant conditions. He who can modify his tactics in relation to his opponent and thereby succeed in winning, may be called a heaven-born captain. The 5 elements, water, fire, wood, metal, earth, are not always equally predominant. The 4 seasons make way for each other in turn. There are short days and long; the moon has its periods of waning and waxing. When you plunder a countryside, let the spoil be divided amongst your men; when you capture new territory, cut it up into allotments for the benefit of the soldiery. Ponder and deliberate before you make a move. A whole army may be robbed of its spirit; a commander-in-chief may be robbed of his presence of mind. A clever general, therefore, avoids an army when its spirit is keen but attacks it when it is sluggish and inclined to return. This is the art of studying moods. Disciplined and calm, to await the appearance of disorder and hubbub amongst the enemy; this is the art of retaining self-possession. When in difficult country, do not encamp. In country where high roads intersect, join hands with your allies. Do not linger in dangerously isolated positions. In hemmed-in situations, you must resort to stratagem. In desperate position, you must fight. There are roads which must not be followed, armies which must be not attacked, towns which must be besieged, positions which must not be contested, commands of the sovereign which must not be obeyed. The art of war teaches us to rely not on the likelihood of the enemy's not coming but on our own readiness to receive him, not on the chance of his not attacking, but rather on the fact that we have made our position unassailable. There are 5 dangerous faults which may affect a general. Recklessness, which leads to destruction. Cowardice, which leads to capture. A hasty temper, which can be provoked by insults. A delicacy of honor which is sensitive to shame. Over-solicitude for his men, which exposes him to worry and trouble. Camp in high places, facing the sun. Do not climb heights in order to fight. So much for mountain warfare. After crossing a river, you should get far away from it. When an invading force crosses a river in its onward march, do not advance to meet it in midstream. It will be best to let half the army get across and then deliver your attack. If you are anxious to fight, you should not go to meet the invader near a river which he has to cross. When the soldiers stand leaning on their spears, they are faint from want of food. If those who are sent to draw water begin by drinking themselves, the army is suffering from thirst. If the enemy sees an advantage to be gained and makes no effort to secure it, the soldiers are exhausted. When an army feeds its horses with grain and kills its cattle for food, and when the men do not hang their cooking pots over the campfires, showing that they will not return to their tents, you may know that they are determined to fight to the death. We may distinguish 6 kinds of terrain to fight. Accessible ground, entangling ground, temporizing ground, narrow passes, precipitous heights, positions at a great distance from the enemy. These 6 are the principles connected with earth. The general who has attained a responsible post must be careful to study them. An army is exposed to 6 several calamities, not arising from natural causes but from faults for which the general is responsible. These are flight, insubordination, collapse, ruin, disorganization, rout. When the general is weak and without authority, when his orders are not clear and distinct, when there are no fixed duties assigned to officers and men, and the ranks are formed in a slovenly haphazard manner, the result is utter disorganization. When a general, unable to estimate the enemy's strength, allows an inferior force to engage a larger one, or hurls a weak detachment against a powerful one and neglects to place picked soldiers in the front rank, the result must be rout. The natural formation of the country is the soldier's best ally, but a power of estimating the adversary, of controlling the forces of victory and of shrewdly calculating difficulties, dangers, and distances, constitutes the test of a great general. Regard your soldiers as your children and they will follow you into the deepest valleys, look upon them as your own beloved sons and they will stand by you even unto death. If, however, you are indulgent but unable to make your authority felt, kind-hearted but unable to enforce your commands, and incapable, moreover, of quelling disorder, then your soldiers must be likened to spoilt children, they are useless for any practical purpose. If you know the enemy and know yourself, your victory will not stand in doubt. If you know heaven and know earth, you may make your victory complete. The art of war recognizes 9 varieties of ground. Dispersive ground, facile ground, contentious ground, open ground, ground of intersecting highways, serious ground, difficult ground, hemmed-in ground, desperate ground. The skillful general conducts his army just as though he were leading a single man, willy-nilly, by the hand. It is the business of a general to be quiet and thus ensure secrecy, upright and just and thus maintain order. He must be able to mystify his officers and men by false reports and appearances and thus keep them in total ignorance. By altering his arrangements and changing his plans, he keeps the enemy without definite knowledge. By shifting his camp and taking circuitous routes, he prevents the enemy from anticipating his purpose. At the critical moment, the leader of an army acts like one who has climbed up a height and then kicks away the ladder behind him. He carries his men deep into hostile territory before he shows his hand. He burns his boats and breaks his cooking pots, like a shepherd driving a flock of sheep, he drives his men this way and that and nothing knows whither he is going. Bestow rewards without regard to rule, issue orders without regard to previous arrangements, and you will be able to handle a whole army as though you had to do with but a single man. Confront your soldiers with the deed itself, never let them know your design. When the outlook is bright, bring it before their eyes, but tell them nothing when the situation is gloomy. Place your army in deadly peril and it will survive, plunge it into desperate straits and it will come off in safety. For it is precisely when a force has fallen into harm's way that is capable of striking a blow for victory. Success in warfare is gained by carefully accommodating ourselves to the enemy's purpose. There are 5 ways of attacking with fire. The first is to burn soldiers in their camp, the second is to burn stores, the third is to burn baggage trains, the fourth is to burn arsenals and magazines, the fifth is to hurl dropping fire amongst the enemy. In order to carry out an attack, we must have means available. The material for raising fire should always be kept in readiness. There is a proper season for making attacks with fire, and special days for starting a conflagration. The proper season is when the weather is dry, the special days are those when the moon is in the constellations of the sieve, the wall, the wing, or the crossbar, for these 4 are all days of rising wind. In attacking with fire, one should be prepared to meet 5 possible developments. When fire breaks out inside to enemy's camp, respond at once with an attack from without. If there is an outbreak of fire but the enemy's soldiers remain quiet, bide your time and do not attack. When the force of the flames has reached its height, follow it up with an attack, if that is practicable. If not, stay where you are. If it is possible to make an assault with fire from without, do not wait for it to break out within, but deliver your attack at a favorable moment. When you start a fire, be to windward of it. Do not attack from the leeward. A wind that rises in the daytime lasts long, but a night breeze soon falls. Raising a host of 100,000 men and marching them great distances entails heavy loss on the people and a drain on the resources of the state. The daily expenditure will amount to 1,000 ounces of silver. There will be commotion at home and abroad, and men will drop down exhausted on the highways. As many as 700,000 families will be impeded in their labor. Hostile armies may face each other for years, striving for the victory which is decided in a single day. This being so, to remain in ignorance of the enemy's condition simply because one grudges the outlay of 100 ounces of silver in honors and emoluments, is the height of inhumanity. One who acts thus is no leader of men, no present help to his sovereign, no master of victory. Thus, what enables the wise sovereign and the good general to strike and conquer and achieve things beyond the reach of ordinary men, is foreknowledge. Now this foreknowledge cannot be elicited from spirits, it cannot be obtained inductively from experience nor by any deductive calculation. Knowledge of the enemy's dispositions can only be obtained from other men. Hence the use of spies, of whom there are 5 classes. 1. Local spies. 2. Inward spies. 3. Converted spies. 4. Doomed spies. 5. Surviving spies. When these 5 kinds of spy are all at work, none can discover the secret system. This is called divine manipulation of the threads. It is the sovereign's most precious faculty. Business success through exploitation. Do all business moguls bully and exploit others in order to get ahead in the first place, then to stay there? Of course, all business moguls you see being interviewed on TV whitewash their real lives and always present themselves as nice people who do well by doing good rather than evil despots who run their workers hard, steal whatever ideas they can and destroy the competition by whatever means possible. In my opinion, very few business CEOs got there by being kind people. Most are bastards and bitches beneath the veneer, even if they just have an innocuous uppity attitude. Google started off saying do no evil, but now their ads are everywhere. Ads to me are toxic. They not only cause mind pollution but they waste my time when I go on websites that have nothing to do with Google and have to wait until the Google ads load. That's small time exploitation, so if they're so good, why don't they create some software that enables users to shut their ads off over the whole internet if they choose to? They won't unless enough people threaten to stop using Google until they come up with this software. All in all, I don't trust anybody who smiles at the camera but has a stash of money plus a hidden stash of money, all the while claiming to be a good guy for the people and for the workers. Why don't you share some of that stash with your employees then? Business savvy websites. Business savvy has been referred to as remembering names, passing out business cards, handshaking, etc. 1000ventures.com, How to Persuade People. bnet.com, The 3 Legs of Persuasion, Vision, Ethics, Leadership. businesslink.gov.uk, Many articles. businesssavvyonline.com, Business Services. businesssavvyskills.com, Build a network of business professionals. businessweek.com. Chapter 4. Entrepreneur websites. Entrepreneur websites. theclosetotrepreneur.com. 4entrepreneur.net, a resource center for entrepreneurs. Applicant.com.